What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. The weekend is here, so it's time to talk all the latest wrestling news, rumors, and reports. What went down on SmackDown? Big plan for the Universal Champion Roman Reigns coming up. Multiple surprises set for AEW All Out pay-per-view this weekend, and more. So let's get into it. Coming out of this week's SmackDown, we got a lot to talk about, especially in regards to Roman Reigns. The WWE Universal Champion retained his title in the main event of this week's episode, Friday Night SmackDown, but he has some help from the Usos. Before the match got started, Jimmy and Jey Uso attacked Finn Balor, and that gave Roman Reigns the advantage throughout the match, but the big talking point came at the end. After Roman Reigns won, when he was walking, fans could hear the sound of a heartbeat and the arena lights briefly turning red. A lot of people, of course, speculated that this was for Brock Lesnar, but clearly it was not. The tease was actually for the return of the Demon character of Finn Balor. And we got some details on what exactly WWE is planning. All of this is coming from PW Insider, as they reported that the main event for Extreme Rules on September 26 will be Demon Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. So unless plans change, it looks like fans will see the return of the Demon on that show. Obviously, this is exciting news. I just hope that WWE knows how to book the Demon, unlike before. The Demon doesn't have to win, but at the same time, if he is gonna lose against Roman Reigns, WWE has to make sure that they still make Finn Balor look good, because this is an incredible character that they cannot waste once again. Roman Reigns is expected to retain at Extreme Rules, considering that we already got reports indicating that Roman Reigns is set to take on Brock Lesnar at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, which is happening right after. Sticking with SmackDown and sticking with Brock Lesnar, he is set to be appearing at next week's Madison Square Garden Super SmackDown show, and considering that it is Madison Square Garden, I'm expecting something big, likely some type of brawl between these two to ultimately set up that future matchup. WWE also ended up announcing a massive WrestleMania rematch, as we will be getting Edge versus Seth Rollins in one-on-one competition, and Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair are set to sign up a contract for an upcoming matchup, which will likely end up happening at Extreme Rules. So as we can see, next week's SmackDown is gonna be a banger one, and they building it up as a super episode of the show. They also ended up announcing some Monday Night Raw superstars to appear in it, but that will likely be for the live audience, and those Monday Night Raw superstars might not end up showing up on SmackDown TV. Latest news regarding CM Punk, as we know, he got a big matchup coming up this weekend at the AEW All Out pay-per-view against Darby Allin, so he has been doing a lot of media. And while speaking with ESPN, CM Punk revealed that he did receive an offer from WWE, but he ultimately rejected them because they were playing games with him. He indicated the following: "I remember one of the first thing I ever said to them was, above all, don't play games." And they played games. Some things never change. When you enter a conversation with people you have a past with and you know who they are, how seriously can you take it? I know exactly who they are, and they just continue to prove it. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I possibly can. CM Punk also expressed that he wasn't a big fan of the backstage environment either. It wasn't just the politics, but the backstage didn't feel like he was hanging out with the boys, whereas in AEW he does feel all that love from the locker room, and he feels like everybody is in it together. The brand new NXT setup is being teased right now, and to say the least, it is very colorful. All of that is going to be starting on September 14, and just to give you guys the latest in regards to it, a talent meeting was reportedly held to assure the roster on NXT that Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon are not taking over the brand. There has obviously been a lot of conflicting reports as of late, but the main takeaway is that Triple H and his team will be handling the booking and production of NXT every single week, but that the brand new rebranding does come from Vince McMahon, Bruce Prichard, and Kevin Dunn, with one report even indicating that the new NXT logo was designed without any input from Triple H, and likely the whole stage and feel of it. So although the presentation is gonna change, it looks like Triple H is still gonna be the one in charge, and fingers crossed that that does turn out to be the case. Some potential spoilers are ahead, although not really, because CM Punk is teasing it all over, that of course we could be getting a potential big surprise very soon. Very soon as in like an AEW All Out pay-per-view this Sunday. Now we got even more confirmation from the Wrestling Observer newsletter indicating that the big surprise for All Out, Bryan Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan, is locked in for Sunday night. This Daniel Bryan debut was moved forward as they were gonna hold off for AEW Dynamite Grand Slam in New York City. But again, due to last minute changes and all of that, Bryan Danielson will be on the show on Sunday. And CM Punk even continued to tease it on certain interviews, even indicating that he would love to go against the Young Bucks and that a certain American Dragon will be his perfect partner to do just that. There are other surprises that are possible for the pay-per-view, such as Adam Cole, Ric Flair, and even Ruby Soho, as she might end up debuting during the Casino Battle Royal. And you know what time it is? It's time to recap what went down on this week's SmackDown. To start off the show, we got the Usos in some action as the Street Profit defeated them, but it was by disqualification. Obviously, later on in the night, Roman Reigns wasn't too happy about all of this. We had the SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch refusing to face Bianca Belair once again. So every week it feels like Becky's turning a bit more heel, which I'm more down for it, and they building her up to be a smart champion. Really getting those Roman Reigns and older Seth Rollins vibes to it, which I'm all down for. We got Rick defeating Dolph Ziggler in one-on-one competition. We then got Seth Rollins taking on Cesaro, but this ended in a no contest. Seth Rollins went for a brutal attack on Cesaro, all of which led to the Rated R Superstar Edge coming out and making the save. Right as soon as Seth Rollins was about to deliver a devastating concerto to Cesaro, Edge then went on to vow to burn Seth Rollins down once again, challenging Seth Rollins to a rematch next week at Madison Square Garden. We had Logan Paul joining forces with Happy Corbin, and they ended up attacking Kevin Owens. So I guess WWE gave up on trying to make Logan Paul a babyface. But we had Sami Zayn defeating Dominic Mysterio in one-on-one competition, so Dominic and Rey dissension continues to build up. And then for the main event, the Universal Champion Roman Reigns defeated Finn Balor. After Finn Balor was attacked by the Uso at the beginning of the match, so they try to protect him, which is great. And then at the end, the big tease of the Demon Finn Balor ended up happening, which is great. So that is all the latest wrestling news and what went down on this week's SmackDown. If you enjoyed or found it informative, you know what to do. Elbow drop it, and I'll catch you on the next one.